First, an update on Yoenis Cespedes. On Saturday night, we received news from him that he suffered an accident on his ranch in Port St. Lucie and suffered ankle fractures. I, the front office, and the entire ownership group has support of Mickey Callaway as our manager. Mickey's our manager now, Mickey's our manager going forward, and we are going to provide the same support we have for him throughout the offseason as we have to this point. We'll continue that effort with full steam ahead.
Mickey not getting fired after all. What's up, lovely people? Welcome to the show. I'm Chris Williamson. After calls for Mickey to be let go by fans, Brodie setting the record straight, sticking with his manager and in a passionate manner. But while Brodie still has the services of Mickey Callaway for at least a little while, he won't have the services of Yoenis Cespedes for quite a while. We will get into the bombshell news that broke at Citi Field on Monday. Jonas Schwartz and the crew will be here to break it down in a bit. But we begin with Mickey's job status. Now, despite a 5-game losing streak and being swept by the Marlins, Callaway kept his manager job Monday for the Nats series. GM Brodie Van Wagenen said he would be the manager now and for the foreseeable future. That being said, the Mets GM is far from pleased from what he's seeing with the 20-25 ball club.
We've experienced a start to the season that none of us are happy with, that none of us are content with, but the finger pointing is not going down the chain of command to the players or the coaches. You know, we built this team in the front office. We believe that this team has the ability to contend the same way we said that in the offseason loudly and proudly. The accountability that will ultimately fall on this team, I want to place on my shoulders. I think that I was the one that put the efforts into helping build this roster. I'll be the one, along with the rest of the front office team, that will continue to make improvements of this roster as we go forward. Make no mistake that there is confidence amongst the players. There's confidence amongst the coaches, and we know that we can play better. We haven't played to our expectations, and we are going to challenge ourselves to do so here in the coming days and weeks.
All right, Jonas Schwartz here with the Baseball Night New York crew. Mark Malusis, Sal Licata, John Harper joining me in the cooler tonight. Are you buying that Mickey Callaway is safe, and for how long, Moose?
I mean, for right now. I mean,
what does that mean, foreseeable future?
Well, I mean, you didn't put a timetable on it. So, I mean, it could be a 2 weeks. It could be a month. It could be 2 months. I mean, I think they're expecting this team to turn around. I also don't think they feel like getting rid of Callaway at this stage is all of a sudden going to turn this team around, because I think they're looking at a lot of down performances. So they could have gone one or two different ways. He gave them the support to try and cut the story off at the knees as best he can, get this team to refocus what's going on the field instead of guys having to answer questions about their manager night in, night out. And I think Brodie Van Wagenen, for right now, was successful at that. But results are results. He's got to win.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, foreseeable future could mean anything, but I think they did the right thing here. You could see the team was more relaxed, no doubt about it. You could see Callaway was more relaxed. Just the tension in Miami was obvious. So at least now he knows he's here. He can stay, try to get a winning streak going. But I don't think they should say he's here to the end of the season, because if this thing falls apart, you got to make a change at some point. I don't think they really believe in Callaway. If that's the case, though, if you're going to make a change, though, they had to go to more than just an interim guy like Riggleman. You have to be ready to bring in a Buck Showalter or a Joe Girardi, somebody like that.
Or, go ahead, say it.
That's your own way. Oh, listen,
say your guy.
Wally Backman, hey, I've said it before. You bring him in, he'll bring some fire and energy and all that. But if you're going to go to an established guy, it's got to be somebody besides Jim Riggleman as the interim guy if you want to try and change things here.
So?
The time to make that move was either before the season or you're going to have to wait deeper in the season. It's not right now. The Mets have bigger issues than Mickey Callaway, so I think the Mets did do the right thing by coming out and addressing it because they had to, and also by not making that reactionary move by firing him right now. You need to save that decision and make sure when you do it, it's the perfect timing, and then you have the guy that you want in place. And right now, that's not the situation. It would have been too reactionary to fire him after a loss. And I know it's bad getting swept by the Marlins, but I don't think the timing was right, so I think they handled it.
All right, obviously, a big question of support in the clubhouse. The players all say it publicly, and Brodie Van Wagenen came out and said that Callaway still has plenty of support in that clubhouse.
I think Mickey has the respect of the players. One of the things that we evaluated over the course of spring training and already through this season is, do the players feel united? Do the players feel connected to the coaching staff? And are they all working in the same direction? And we believe that is the case. We believe that Mickey has a pulse of the clubhouse, and we believe that the support he has around him will be keys to his success.
I want to thank Jeff and Brodie and Fred and our whole front office for their continued support. I never felt that I wasn't supported at any time, and we've always had unbelievable dialogue about how we can do things better. We realize that we have to do things better, and we have to start winning games, and that's what our focus has been at all times.
Harp, you buy in that the players have his back still at this point?
Well, look, I don't think there are major issues. I think last year you saw the kind of things that he did during games. The in-game strategy was the kind of things that players are really going to raise their eyebrow about. But he's got Riggleman there as a bench coach. They've been much more solid in terms of in-game strategy. I think that's the key. And then it's just a matter of being able to handle veterans. There's still something to a manager the way he handles players. And I do think the Cano thing, you're walking a fine line there. He didn't bench him right away. And obviously, Cano's a veteran, so it could go either way. But I think if you let a guy get away with that without running a couple of times, other players are going to look at him sideways a little bit. So that's a key issue for him.
You know I like when you get a Robinson Cano. The other big pregame drama was the announcement Yoenis Cespedes has suffered multiple fractures to his right ankle after taking a fall at his ranch in Florida. I mean, Sal, what is your reaction to this story?
Well, I mean, they could have done without that, certainly. And I'm honestly not that surprised. We've seen videos before. Didn't we do a piece on it about Cespedes, how hard he works at his ranch?
Yeah, he goes out there and does defense.
Yeah, right. He's lifting these big pounds of whatever, dirt or whatever it is.
You can't be doing that after you've had surgery on your ankle.
I understand, but are you surprised that Cespedes obviously beats the whatever it is of his own drum?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. I mean, he's playing golf.
His own drum.
There you go. Right. He's on his own horses and doing all that stuff. So who knows what really happened? It's unfortunate. It's an accident, but it's bad, and I'm not surprised ultimately that it happened with Cespedes.
Moose?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm kind of surprised when Van Wagenen opens up his presser saying that he suffered multiple fractures to his right ankle and wouldn't get into exactly how it happened, stepped into a hole and it was a violent fall, did clarify that it wasn't a horse.
Not a horse.
So that's all great to hear. I mean, was he roasting a pig? I mean, what was exactly Yoenis Cespedes?
At least it didn't happen playing golf. That's
I mean,
too.
is it surprising? Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's surprising. Should it be? I mean, I guess in the neighborhood, when you look at Cespedes and all these injuries, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. But, yeah, I mean, I was stunned by the news. If you held out any hope that Cespedes would play this year, that hope is gone.
Harp, are you starting to wonder if he'll ever play for the Mets again, period?
Absolutely. And, they need more detail. We need more details on this, how this happened. It's possible if he was doing something, he says he wasn't on a horse, but if he was doing something that they could maybe try and investigate whether they can get rid of that, get out from under that contract for another year. I'm sure, look, they're going to...
Was there ranch language in the contract?
Well, it depends. I mean, he said he wasn't on a horse, but it wouldn't be a shocker if it turns out he was on a horse, would it? You know? I mean, Van Wagenen is trying to tamp this down right now. If that's the case, I mean, you never know. All that stuff is usually spelled out in the contract. For him, no horse riding. It might be in the contract. You never know.
Yeah, but I have a hard time envisioning that him doing, like, regular work at his property is kind of a way of negating that kind of...
Right.
I mean, usually guys have it, you can't ski, you can't ride a motorcycle.
Right.
There's
Play
different
hoops.
things. Yeah, there's different things.
You're allowed to mulch if you like.
If he was out there, maybe he took a misstep, and all of a sudden he's down and his ankle fractured. I mean, who knows? Right. We don't know exactly what the answer is. If he's going out there doing tricks on a thoroughbred,
pretty hard,
then that would be a problem. I mean, I don't know what he was doing down there. Who knows?
Multiple fractures. You got to be doing something
I don't disagree with you. I have no idea what he did.
I've been telling you for years how tough mulching is, Harper.
I knew you were the king of the mulch right there. Jonas Schwartz.
On mulch, we leave it at that. For John Harper, Salicata, Mark Malusis, Chris, let's send it back to you.
Thanks, Jonas. Next, Robinson Cano's been in the spotlight for everything but hitting lately. He got benched Monday for not hustling on ground outs, and we'll get his feelings on not playing. Plus, the Yankees started out poorly against the Orioles, but they made quite a comeback in the ninth. You don't want to miss it. That's coming up when we return.
Geico Sports Night is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Geico makes it easy to get help when you need it, with licensed agents available 24/7. It's not just easy. It's having a walrus and goal easy.
It's a walrus! Ridiculous! Yes! Nice save, big guy!
Good job, Duncan! Way to go!
It's not just easy, it's Geico easy.
Duncan, stay up. No sleepies.
Technology should be simple. simple to connect with, easy to talk to.
Hey, BMW, where can I park?
And a joy to drive. Don't be driven by technology, drive it. The all-new BMW 3 Series. Hurry in to lease a 2019 BMW 330i xDrive sedan for $429 a month.
Rex. He may look innocent, but don't be fooled. Turn your back for 1 second, and this rascal will eat your dinner. Luckily, the BP Me app lets you pay for fuel in your car, so you can keep an eye on Rex at all times. The BP Me app. It makes things easy. Unlike living with Rex. Download the BP Me app now. BP. Every day brighter.
Don't wait. Now is the time to move up. Move up to next-gen connectivity. Move up to advanced safety. Move up to something a little more, well, Cadillac. In XT5, XT4, and the Escalade. Current eligible non-GM owners and lessees get this low-mileage lease on this 2019 Cadillac XT4 from around $369 per month. Cadillac, official vehicle of the PGA Championship.
My Synergy queen-size mattress, only $4.99. The perfect synergy of comfy Bobapedic memory foam and individually wrapped inner spring coils. Made the old-fashioned way, not with robots, but with actual fleshy hands. Let me show you. This clearly isn't a robot. This is Jessica, happily at work on my Synergy mattress. She works at one of my favorite partner manufacturers right here in the USA. And look here, this is Boom Boom, also not a robot. I see what you did there, Boom Boom. My Synergy queen-size mattress, only $4.99, made by humans, not robots.
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Hey parents, your child could join Gary, Keith, and Ron in the booth to call half an inning of a Mets game on SNY. Just go to SNY.TV/KidCaster to submit your child's video entry to compete to win the 2019 SNY KidCaster Contest, presented by RPM Raceway. SNY.TV, all things New York sports, all on one site with easy access to up-to-the-minute news on all of your favorite New York area teams. Only on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports.
Might be a day too late for most people, but Mickey Callaway pulled second baseman Robinson Cano out of the starting lineup Monday against the Nats due to his lack of hustle in recent games and the fact that lefty Patrick Corbin was starting for Washington. So is Cano taking this personally?
I wasn't surprised. We had this conversation before that, we're going to play 20 straight games and he was going to give me a day off.
Did he tell you that part of the reason was because you didn't run on a couple of those ground balls?
We didn't get into that details. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. Like I said, I apologized the day before, and that's something that I accept my mistake. Made that error. I apologize, and like I said, I'm gonna keep doing the little road and lead by example. Just a mistake and just move on.
Mets open up their series with the Nationals at Citi Field, and there's Cano looking on from the dugout. Bottom first, no score. Ahmed Rosario flies it deep to center off Patrick Corbin. It hits just above the orange line for the home run. Rosario's fourth of the season, 1-0 Mets. Two batters later, Pete Alonso crushes this pitch to left center. Long gone. See you later. Alonso becomes the first Mets rookie since 1965 to hit 15 home runs before the All-Star break. Bottom three, 3-0 Mets, 2 on. Carlos Gomez lines it to left center. It bounces off the wall. Wilson Ramos scores. Gomez's first hit in his return to the Mets. Top 9. Mets up 5-3, but 2 on with 2 outs. Adam Eaton flies to left off Edwin Diaz's pitch. Brandon Nimmo's there to make the catch. Game over. Mets win 5-3 and snap their 5-game losing streak. All right, now before Monday's game against the Orioles, the Yankees received some good updates on some of their injured stars. Shortstop Didi Gregorius made his season debut Monday afternoon in an extended spring game and went 2 for 4. Meanwhile, slugger Giancarlo Stanton returned to game action with the Yanks single-A team Monday night and hit a home run. So New York should have been fired up to destroy the O's, no? Bombers open up a 4-game set in Baltimore. Trailed 6-1 at one point. Gleyber Torres doing his part. 2 solo homers, including this one that made it 7-6 in the 8th. In the 9th, Aaron Hicks against Michael Gibbons. The fly to left. Dwight Smith Jr.'s throw is, oh my gosh, way off. No direction there. We are tied at 7, people. Big play here. Next batter, Luke Voigt. Pops it up. Should end the inning. Catcher Pedro Severino behind the plate. misjudges it, and the inning continues. Voit walked and Gary Sanchez with the dramatic payoff. Smoke to left, baby. A 3-run shot, and the Yankees take the 10-7 lead, and that's the final. What a comeback win to open the series in Baltimore.
There's kind of that theme in the dugout, just chip away at this, and we were able to hang in there enough. The bullpen did a good job of keeping them so we could continue to chip away, and then, you know, we string together a big one, and obviously, you know, Gary finishes it off with a big one. That was just a great job by the guys continuing to compete.
All right, Jonas Schwartz back in Studio 41. John Harper joining me. A big comeback win again for the Yanks. 3 wins this year when trailing after 8 innings. 13 comeback wins this season. I know it's the Orioles, John.
Yeah.
And we saw how bad the Orioles are. But are you impressed still the Yanks came back like this?
Yeah, absolutely, Jonas. I mean, look, they just got through with a big series against the Rays. It's easy to have a letdown. Nobody in that ballpark. You come down, you're behind. You come back like that, you're behind early. Yeah, and you're starting to see some of the big guys contribute now. So this team did, they've held it together. Now they're starting to get some guys back. Hicks is back, and you see what Sanchez and Gleyber Torres are doing. You see the potential for this team when they get everybody back. They could just really pull away and have a huge season.
Severino missed this ball by like 10 feet. That's an unbelievable misjudgment.
I mean, the Orioles this is a really bad team. I mean, this looks like a high school catcher. Well, this throw.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the home run.
Well, that's the home run. And with Gary Sanchez coming through, by the way, I meant to ask you, are you convinced that a year after he was bad all the way around, that at least the bat will be there all year?
It looks like it for sure. He looks like the same guy, and if he's hitting home runs as a catcher, he gives them such an advantage because there's nobody else in baseball doing that with their catchers. So it's another big edge for them. And Torres, to me, is a guy who's just, I wrote early on that he could be an MVP candidate because he has that kind of potential. Of course, I think 8 of his home runs are against the Orioles, so you got to see him do it against somebody else. The Orioles are really bad.
Well, look, Gleyber Torres has cleaned up against the Orioles as well. 2 homers tonight, 5 homers last 6 games, but he is having quite a stretch here.
Yeah, I mean, I think this kid really is going to be an MVP at some point. I think he has that kind of potential. And when he's hitting, when you get Judge and Sanchez going and you get Stanton back, I mean, the potential is unlimited for this team. We're seeing it.
And the potential always unlimited for the great John Harper. Good stuff, John. We appreciate it.
Jonas.
All right, coming up, we've got football next. For the first time since Big Blue drafted Daniel Jones, Eli Manning shares his thoughts on the role of mentor. That's coming up on Geico SportsNite when we come back.
Managing lipids, like very high triglycerides, can be tough. You diet, exercise. But if you're also taking fish oil supplements, you should know they are not FDA approved. They may have saturated fat and may even raise bad cholesterol. To treat very high triglycerides, discover the science of prescription Visipa. Proven in multiple clinical trials, Visipa, along with diet, is the only prescription EPA treatment approved by the FDA to lower very high triglycerides by 33% without raising bad cholesterol. Look, it's clear there's only one prescription EPA Visipa.
Visipa is not right for everyone. Do not take Visipa if you are allergic to icosapent ethyl or any inactive ingredient in Visipa. Tell your doctor if you are allergic to fish or shellfish, have liver problems or other medical conditions, and about any medications you take, especially those that may affect blood clotting. 2.3% of patients reported joint pain.
Ask your doctor about Visipa. Prescription power, proven to work.
It's either the assurance of a 165-point certification process, or it isn't. It's either testing an array of advanced safety systems, or it isn't. It's either the peace of mind of a standard 5-year unlimited mileage warranty, or it isn't. For those who never settle, it's either Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned, or it isn't. The Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned sales event, now through May 31st, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Make sure you're at Citi Field for all the amazing moments this season with the Amazing Mets Pass. For just $39 a month, you'll get a mobile ticket to nearly every regular season home game, including all weekend games. Even at the last minute, you know you can get into the game, and at a fixed price, too. The Amazing Mets Pass renews automatically each month, so there's never a need to make additional purchases. For more information, visit Mets.com/pass.
There's a place where every lane is the fast lane. Radar guns do this, and everything's a blur. Welcome to Muscleville, a Dodge owner's paradise, where you've got a lot of horsepower to move a lot of people. And when your crew heads to the local theater, these are the kinds of movies you'll see. So head to Muscleville, where every day is a performance day. Well-qualified current Ford Explorer lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2019 Dodge Durango for $229 a month.
Tomorrow, the Mets set out for some dominance in the division with the Nats in town as Pete Alonso looks to thump his squad to victory over their NL East adversaries.
Forget that! That was way, way out of here!
Coverage begins with City pregame tomorrow at 6:30 only on SNY.
I don't know when you become a mentor, when that's official. I think if you've been in the league longer than any other guy in the quarterback room, you should be a mentor in that sense where you know a little bit more. You're talking and you're helping out, and everybody's kind of mentoring everybody. If certain guys aren't in there, then they can't be mentored. So it's a little bit on Daniel being in there, listening and asking questions. I've become a Duke fan, a Coach Cut, and so. Seen quite a few games and seen him play well.
In classic Eli Manning fashion, you guys says all the right and safe things regarding his feelings on the G-men, bringing in rookie QB Daniel Jones. Monday's OTA marked the first time Eli spoke to the media since Jones was drafted. For more on the two QBs in minicamp, here's our Maria Marino.
I'm here with Pat Leonard, the Giants beat writer for the Daily News. And Pat, you got to see Eli Manning and Daniel Jones on the practice field together for the first time. What did you notice?
Well, number one, Eli's arm, I thought, looked strong, though once they went into the full team periods, Maria, he didn't look that great. He was throwing the ball out of bounds. He threw a couple interceptions. I thought Jones moved well. That's one thing the Giants liked about him coming out of the draft. Obviously, he has a lot to learn. He had some missed throws as well. But to me, this is all about going in through OTAs, minicamp, and training camp. How much better does Eli Manning look than Daniel Jones? If he falters and Jones continues to grow, Pat Shurmur's telling us it's not a competition. He says Eli's the starter, but he admitted Jones is getting more reps than anyone behind Manning. And I just wonder if Eli continues to struggle, whether this will become a competition or not.
Well, Eli took about 10 minutes and spoke to media. What did you take away from that about his mentality approaching this season?
Well, contrary to what I just said, Manning really smoothed things over, right? Like Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, he's telling us, oh, Daniel Jones could start week one in a different situation. But Eli's saying, yeah, he's got a good arm, but he has things to learn. He's learning the offense. And of course, contrary to Joe Flacco, who said he's not Drew Lock's mentor in Denver, Eli basically said, yeah, I've mentored quarterbacks in the past. If Daniel Jones asks me questions, I'll answer them. And I thought he handled that impressively. He said there are no issues, there's no awkwardness, there's no conflict. The question, of course, is as we get towards the games that count, will it continue to be that way?
Well, we know how big the storyline of the QB situation is, but how about on the defensive end of the ball? Anything we should look out for?
A couple of guys were missing from the starting lineup due to weather and travel, but two guys, Sam Beal, he was the supplemental draft pick last year, coming off shoulder surgery, and Marcus Golden, who signed a one-year prove-it deal pass rusher. These are two guys who are now healthy that the Giants are really counting on for a lot of production, but of course health is a question mark. So we talked to both of them today. Beal was thrilled and actually working with the first-team defense, Maria, which I thought was really significant because they drafted DeAndre Baker as a first-round pick, but Beal's starting over him, at least in the first OTA. So if he stays healthy, that could make the secondary deep, and it could be the difference between them being a competitive team or not.
Interesting. Pat, thank you. For Pat Leonard, I'm Maria Marino. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Maria. Back to the Mets and our top stories. Mickey Callaway will not be relieved of his managerial duties now and for the foreseeable future, according to GM Brody Van Wagenen. It's been a rough stretch for Mickey during a 5-game losing streak before the win over the Nats on Monday, and accountability problems with his players before Monday's game. So no dramatics on that front, but nobody expected to hear Monday that Yoenis Cespedes fractured his right ankle at his ranch in Port St. Lucie. According to BVW, Cespedes fell into a hole on his ranch while he rehabs both heels. The news puts a major question mark on if he can play this year. And obviously, this is not the first time Yo has dealt with an injury in a Mets uniform. Here's a look brought to you by Geico. In 2016, it was an injured quad. 2017, he injured both hammies. And in 2018, first it was a hip problem before the heel injuries. Here's Brody Van Wagenen on his former client.
He is here in New York. He's at HSS. He's being evaluated, and we'll have more information on his prognosis and what his future is, hopefully in the coming days. Our focus currently is to try to get him the best medical care, and then hopefully get a better idea of what this means for his future, both in 2019 and beyond.
Ahead on the show, Jets head coach Adam Gase spoke to the media for the first time since GM Mike McCagnon was fired. So would he admit there was a power struggle between the two? Stick around, baby, to find out when we come back.
Geico SportsNite is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Keep going, man. You got it.
If you ride, you get it. Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Sesame chicken, falafel, pound chicken, nacho, fried chicken, yes, bibimbap, yes, Niçoise salad.
With the Grubhub delivery app, if you want it all, you can get it all. Get $10 off on your first order. Grubhub, restaurants you love delivered.
It's about honor. It's about tradition. It's about time. Presenting the Ford Memorial Day sales event, featuring great deals on our full lineup of trucks and SUVs. It's Memorial Day, America. Time to gear up for summer.
Lease a Ford Edge now for $179 a month. Plus, first responders, active military, veterans, and retirees receive $750 appreciation cash on top of all offers.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do. Like sweet tasting wine, your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Joey, what's the latest on trade talks? Hey, Joey, latest on trade talks? Hey, Joey.
Yeah, I heard you the first time. Your team's in the crapper, and so was I, all right? What, I offend you? Ah, don't put me in the pocket. Come on. My voice will not be silenced.
SNY, complete coverage of every New York team, anytime, from any device.
Get your New York sports here.
SNY's Play Ball Week presented by Memorial Sloan Kettering kicked off on Monday with a game day experience for some local leagues. SNY donated 220 dozen baseballs and 20 dozen softballs to more than 50 leagues, some of whom were at Citi Field to throw the ball around with our very own Keith Hernandez. And before we go, Adam Gase met with the media out in Florham Park for the first time since Mike McCagnon was fired. He said he was surprised by the firing and doesn't view it like he won a power play. Take that as you will, my friend.
Not sure how many people are going to believe that.
Yes.
But if he gets the job done and he wins, nobody cares about what's going on right now. On that note, that'll do it for Geico Sports Night. For Jonas Schwartz, I'm Chris Williamson. Have a blessed Tuesday.
They might believe that you are Jonas Schwartz and I'm Chris Williamson.